What up, people? Coach V, New Breed Boxing, sink or swim. At some point, if you want to continue progressing up the ladder in the sport of boxing, from training to sparring to maybe competing in the amateurs and even to the professional level where it's really going to get serious, at some point, you have to take off the little floaties, throw your ass in the water, and see if you either start screaming for a life preserver or you start doing the backstroke. Everybody's different. And to be honest with you, I've never really done the math on it, but at any given time, there's no more than a few thousand professional fighters competing in the world at once. And in the population of 8 billion people, I'd say that's heavily under 1%. And there's a reason for that. This is not an easy, combat sports are not easy in general. And boxing being the fastest paced combat sport is no exception. Boxing is, on a competitive level, it's definitely something that you should be brought into gradually. And I personally, like I said, I have an inoculation process to bring guys along, because when I first started boxing, every coach I ever had, day one, throw you in the ring. That's it. It's almost like they don't even want to talk to you unless you prove to them that you're worthy of their time. And it makes sense, because the guys weren't getting paid back in the day. The coaches were just doing it straight up out of love. And, you know, that's just what it is. I don't blame them. I mean, you spend 6 months with a guy training him, and then the first time he gets hit, he's hightailing it out the gym and never comes back. And that's the reason why I say there's way less than 1% of this population in the world that are built for actual competing on a regular basis in the sport of boxing, MMA, whatever, or combat, especially striking sports. The amount of guys that are training in it, there's a lot of guys training in it, and guys dibbling and dabbling, there's tons of those. But the actual amount of people that are able to sustain it as a 10, 20-year career, less than 1% of the population, absolutely. And I was watching one of my videos where some of the comments, it was a sparring video of some of my guys that were getting ready for a fight, and they were hitting each other for real. And again, like I say, I got two kinds of sparring. You got conditional sparring, you got gut check sparring. Once you get, past the basics and you've proven that you can handle yourself, meaning you can deal with punches being thrown at you, you can deal with being hit, and you can actually sustain going whole rounds without taking breaks, because there's no breaks in boxing, there's no timeouts. I mean, you get breaks in between rounds, but there's no timeouts unless like there's a foul or something going on. So it's not like, oh, this guy hit me harder than I've ever been hit, so now I want a timeout. Don't work like that. And that's just something that, again, you're not, in my opinion, you're not eligible to even think about competing until I've seen that. It's almost like, because I've seen guys that they just want to compete without sparring. They want to skip the process. It's crazy to me. That's like trying to go from a flight simulator to throwing somebody in a freaking, in a fighter jet. Like, bro, you're not ready. It's not gonna work. Like, yeah, if you're sparring, whatever, your local guys in your neighborhood, putting the gloves on in the backyard, and like I always joke, like you're the backyard boxing champion on your block, that's cool. But once you get out there in the actual community of boxers, where dudes have been doing this for a long time, and they've reached a certain level of expertise that you just can't do what you want to do, and if you're not on that level, you're gonna have a bad day, and you're gonna really regret jumping in there. You're gonna understand what we're talking about when we tell you, be patient, get inoculated to the process, and you gotta put yourself through the ringer, man. You gotta get roughed up, you gotta get hit, we gotta see if you're gritty enough for this. And that's just what it comes down to. So, again, if you wanna compare it to like flying, I would say conditional sparring is where you got a co-pilot. Gut check sparring is where we finally say, all right, man, here you go. It's a one-seater plane. Let's see what you do. Hopefully, you have a smooth takeoff, smooth flight, and a good landing. And that's pretty much it. So when you see guys, you shouldn't be seeing guys getting the shit beat out of them in the gym. I mean, you shouldn't be in a fight for your life in the boxing gym. I mean on a regular basis, especially not in the beginning levels. But me coming up in the sport of boxing, gym wars were a regular thing. dudes line up on one corner of the gym, the other gym, or whatever, whatever fighters were on the other side of the gym, and that was it. We don't ask no questions. We don't ask how many rounds. We don't ask who we sparring. We don't want to know anything about them. We just ready to go and put that work in. And that's the mindset you got to have before you're ready to actually start competing. So keep that in mind. If you're one of these guys that wants to have like a whole background check on another guy, once you get to the point like where you actually start competing, or you're about to start competing, and you're sparring guys in other gym on a regular basis, you got to trust your coach. If you have a good coach, he's not going to throw you in there with somebody that's going to kill you. He's definitely going to put you in there with guys that are going to take you out of your comfort zone and push you to that next level to get you better. And you just got to look at it like the old, what they say about the samurai sword. You know what I'm saying? You heat it up, pound out all the imperfections, put it back in the fire, do it again, repeat the process. That's kind of like how fighters forge themselves, and that's how that's how you progress, man. You gotta identify the imperfections, hammer them out, and go from the fire to the water, fire to the water. You know what I mean? It's a process. But I would equate the water part of it to the conditional sparring. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the fire is like the gut check sparring, and the water is like the cooling down, kind of taking it easy, analyzing what we're doing, what we got to work on, stuff like that. So when you see guys in some of these videos that I post or whatever, and they're going a little bit hard, it's for a reason. It's not like, I'm letting guys go crazy or nothing like that. You got to realize, if you're afraid to get hit and you're worried about damage, brain damage, CTE, all these type of things, these are unfortunate occupational hazards that can come with any combat or any contact sport. Not just boxing. It can happen in plenty of other sports. Without going into all that, it just, listen, man. When you're in the competitive world, these are the some of the byproducts of those those endeavors, and either sink or swim, like I said in the beginning, man. So hope you found this informative. If you did, like, subscribe, comment, share. Go check out my Instagram, coach.v_, and put some of your experiences in the comment section. I want to hear about how your first sparring session went, when you was really like, told like, yo, man, this is for real. So I like hearing about those experiences. Anyway, again, one more time, man. Appreciate y'all. Like, subscribe, comment. Go check out my Instagram, coach.v_. Till next time, we out of here.